fmtraining.tv. My name is Margaret. I'll be your broadcast engineer for today. I am slightly less dead from being ill, so we got that going for us. Hi, Nick. How are you?
I'm doing good, thank you.
Good. I'm glad to hear it. So today we're doing day 2, designing your code for performance. Basically, how to improve your code so that you have higher performance. You can get more out of the performance of it, which will be awesome. With that all being, wait, no, I have to actually I should show myself a little bit. Hi, everybody. We do this for free. We do the streams for free. We do it 5 days a week on Twitch, YouTube, and Discord. Let me know if you want to hop platforms. I can give you a link. But there are ways to support us. If you want to support us for all the free content that we hand out as a thank you or whatever, there's a couple things you can do. You can buy our annual subscription bundle. This actually gives you a ton of video content. For people who don't like our stream format, which is an hour long, if you want like a shorter, tighter video that covers a huge variety of topics, not the videos, but like we have a lot of videos covering a wide variety of topics, that'll be your subscription bundle. It's like 10 minutes to, for most of the time, around like pretty much everything you need to know about the FileMaker platform to become an intermediate level developer, which means a developer can basically do their own projects. The other option is to write us a review on Google. Feel free to go up to FM Training TV on Google and give us a review. That helps us with SEO and people being able to discover us and all that jazz. The last thing is if you decide that you need FileMaker work, you can hire us. FM Training TV is owned by Richard Carlton Consulting, which is a consulting company. We host a lot of engineers from Nick is one of them, frankly, from RCC to come on and talk about basically give time and training back to the community. They're experts in a lot of topics. If you look at this, you're like, I really love FileMaker, I really want FileMaker, but I really don't care to do all the work and myself. Feel free to give us an email at support@rcconsulting.com. With that all being said, I think I'll actually start now. Nick, you want to share your screen and tell me what you're doing today?
Yeah, hold on. I lost something, and I had everything prepared, and then it blew up in front of me, and I need to go and find out where is it. So today, yeah, I can tell you what we do today. Pretty much we do the second day on optimizing the code for performance, right? So let me show you what do we mean for that. So I want to tell you about what to use the uses of the blob. Okay, so that's something. Who ever heard about this? The blob stuff. Okay. So I know with me last week, we talk about this.
Yes.
I show you that. But before that, did you even think about this? Did you hear about it? Right. I think not.
Probably not. I don't
Okay.
really recall having any knowledge about something like that. So
Okay. So a blob is instead of collecting data, okay. I'm going to share my screen, but we're talking for now. Instead of sharing data, instead of getting data into a field, right? Well, sometimes you don't really need to have a field for every single thing. You can gather thing, right? And get thing in one, you have one field where you gather all what you need, okay? In one field. And that field gather multiple information, multiple thing. And when you want something, when you can call something from that field, right? In a JSON. We're using JSON. So let me show you. Let me show you. So first, we need to know how to generate JSON stuff. Okay, so how we can generate, let me show you, a JSON like this, right? It speaks French, but we don't care, So you have the element name and the data, right? So that means if if I want something, right? If I want something from here, let's say, okay, let me bring something easy. Okay. Okay, if I want something, you know, JSON, get elements from that, and if I want this, boom, I got it. Okay? So I can, JSON, right? So I think we have many JSON video. Maybe we can send a link to the people about the JSON, how to manipulate JSON. But how to set a JSON in a very cool manner, right? So that's something also that part of their performance, right? So how to build this, right? How to build this and without to be with a bunch of uh, quotes with this, right? You know what I mean? Without to be a bunch of quotes and the ends and the space and this and this and this and this and without to be like something like this, right? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So that is incredibly difficult, right? Because I know this is how you build your JSON stuff, right? Correct? Asking people, be honest. This is how you do.
Correct. It is a pain.
Okay. What about I tell you there's a very nice way to do it like this. Okay. So without this, actually, without the substitute and the list, without this, but we can build something like this. Quote and quote data. Oh, no. We need to. Right. So the whole thing. Okay. So with this, I'm using the list, right? So the goal is not using anything from here. Okay. The ends, you don't use this, right? We use pure functions. And yes, did you know about the quote stuff? Did you know about this quote function? Did you
Uh,
know?
uh, no, I use someone. Okay, I think it's your earlier stuff. Someone said no, I use set element. I
Yeah,
don't
no,
know.
but the quote. Do you know the quotes? Do you know the function quote?
Uh,
So let's say this is Nick Hunter, right?
mhm.
Is Nick Hunter, okay? Or I have a date, okay? And I want to quote and quote the date. What you do? I know what you do. You do this and this, right? That's what you do. I want to quote and quote, okay? Well, this is VS. We have the quote function that quote anything you ask, right? Understand? So let me quit. Uh, you know, switch device. Don't switch. Okay. So did you know about the quote stuff? Right? This one. So the quote function. So what the people says, they know. Yeah, I have a stream on this. Yeah. Okay, so March, are you there?
I am here, yes.
So what do people say? They know they don't answer?
I know quote it
Yeah.
puts the quotation
Okay,
marks.
so now we have quotes. We can build this, we
Someone
can
also
build,
wanted you to explain quote.
yeah, okay. So I want quote unquote whatever, right? And quote unquote whatever. I need to quote this. If I don't put quotes, well, JSON won't work. Okay? It won't work. So what do I need to do now? If I want to set elements, so because the goal here now, okay, is to JSON set elements. Okay? So this is the goal, right? So I have a good one here. So I can use it. Let me see. Okay. So the best way, right, to set an element, right, it's to do this, right? So you do the let statements. Of course, you knew that coming. Okay. I try to make it. I have a version of it where I use records to do that, but I don't use data. So I'm trying to, I'm doing the traduction um, of what I have here. So I'm doing like kind of let me check something here. I'm taking this. So the JSON strings, list of JSON strings, because I have a data like this, so I need to, set elements. No, this is hold on. Substitute. Okay, I have a list of this, and then I do this here, this magic here. Okay, yeah. So let's start. Let's start with this. Actually, let's duplicate this and start with this. This is very important, how to build the JSON stuff, okay? In a really cool manner. So we have the lets, right? And then we start to build the strings, right? So what do? We want the first element, right? So the element 1, for example, okay? The element 1, right? We said this, for example. And then we continue, okay? Let's say we do like this. Element 2, 3, 4, 1, 5, 6. Okay? Let's say I have 6 elements. Okay? Correct? Then we have those. Then we list them. Okay? We do a list of this. Two, three, 4, 5, and 6. Correct? So remember, I told you that thanks to the JSON, the lets, I can check all my elements here, all my statements here, all the variable. So why this one is not working? Could not work. List of elements. Oh, it's missing here. Right? So I can my list of elements. I have this. Okay. So I have my stuff like this, right? And now I'm going to clean that folder, you know, I can call that the JSON JSON strings. Okay. And now I'm going to call that the JSON parameters. Okay. And what that will be, the substitutes of the strings, and I'm going to remove a carriage return and put a comma. Okay. So why? It's because I want something like this. Recognize the, you know, now you recognize. So I get, you know, let's call that name 1, name 2, name 3, 3, 4, 1, 5, 6, right? And 1, 2, 3, up, 3, 4. Then we can recognize them, right? 5 and 6. Okay. So I can get one of them, right? I can check. Then I'm doing the strings, the JSON strings, bloom, and then I'm flatten them. Boom. See the process here? Because to get this with the list, you say, do you really want to do this? Do you want to do this? And you know, actually, even if you don't use the let's, you know, and you want to do this and this, you know, and this, right? It will be ugly, right? And it doesn't work. Substitute. Oh, yeah. So I need to put that here. Hold on. Right? So see how ugly the calculation will be with the 1, the 2, the 3, the 6. No, it's not. And it's slow to build. I get my element, I put all my elements here, and then I create this list, and then I flat the list, right? Well, now I just need to format I just need to format this, which I have it here, right? Boom. You have your JSON, right? I have my JSON. So I can, you know what I mean? So now that I have this, right? I can use it and do whatever I want. So now I have this. I got my JSON stuff, okay? So I can create my blob, okay? So let's create the blob. You know, JSON blob, okay? And let's put out a calc, okay? And it's a text. So what will be my blob, okay? So what will be my element 1? I want, for example, you remember what I said yesterday, I did many things here. I want the element 1, okay, to be, right? I want the total, for example, um, what's the name? Number of items. Okay? So what is the number of items? Well, it's a count, right? On the T12A, and how many records I have. Okay? So I have this. Now I want the total unit price. Remember, I told you that yesterday. So it's the sum of the T12A and it's the total unit price. Okay. So now, right, what do I want? I want the total, what's the name? Total price, which is sum T12A, and I want the total of this, right? For example. Now I want to know, let's go crazy, how many different items I have. Because, for example, that's why, I have 2 times A, 3 times B, 2 times C. So in here, I have only 1, 2, 3, 4 items out, so this is number of records, right? And now what I want the number of items. So now I'm going to show you the power of the values. Okay? So what do I want? I want the value count. Look this. I want the value count of the unique value. Don't tell me it's going to crash like last time. Why I have the spinning wheel? I have the spinning wheel. I hope, because I didn't save my calc. So let's do a screenshot. Okay. No thanks. Okay, so unique values of the list of the T12A description. I get the list of the value. Unique value will return item A, item B, item C, item D. And I'm counting this. How many unique value I have in this list? The power of the values. See, I have many, right? For example, so I want, for example, so I have a dates here. I have dates. So I want the mean date, right? Equal min of the T12A date. And I want the max date, right? Equal max of the T12A date, right? Correct? So I have a lot of things. So I have enough, right? I have my six item here. So I said, okay, number of record, number of item, total unit price, total price, mean date, max date, right? And this is the quote on this, on this, on this. Hold on, total. Okay, I'm completely off here. Okay. Mean date. max day. Okay? So now, what's wrong here? Mean number of record counts. Why doesn't want this field come from? Oh, yeah. Okay. So let's copy this because here I'm in the field. I want to show you the calc, right, in the data viewer. So I think when you will see the blob, you will understand why score. Okay. So this is what I get. Okay? Correct? So all of those things, right, are pre-calculated. They are stored, right? Stored. They calculated, stored. Okay? And you know what I'm saying? They're there. So that means now, normally in the calc here, but I don't think so because, yeah, in the calc, right, I have this in the calc. So I have a calc here. Let's remove this. I have a field with all this info for every single record. But all the second, this info comes from a related table. So you don't want to call the calc every time you load, you know, you don't want that. You know what I mean? Okay. Application. Pure application. So you go layout mode, right? I don't know why I have this. It's because I have another file open and it's doing that all the time. Each time the customer is doing crazy shit on his file, I need to close it. Yeah, well, I don't need the you know, I don't need the file, so I can, you know, because you know, I have the okay. So I need to go there and close this one. Okay. Okay, so explanation. Let's say, okay, you want the total on this, right? You want the total of this. So I know what you do, right? You go there, you know. So you have two schools, you know. First school, you go to the item, right? And you build a total of, okay, and unit price. Okay? You build, it's a summary, which I don't like. That's okay. Do it. Total of unit price, right? A summary. So you have your field. So you create a field for one purpose only. Okay. And then you go related records. Take this and you put that here. All proud of yourself. Wow, I did something great today. You know, I screwed up my solution. Wow, let's celebrate. So now you have this, proud of yourself. You have a summary field that comes from a related record, right? So each time you click, you know, it's calculating it, right? It's calculating it. So now another time you're proud of yourself. You know, you say, okay, that works well. Let's put a total price. Okay. You know, I have something with the prints. Okay, so you know, total price. Let's continue, right? Why stop here? Why stop in that good, because we're in good shape. We have related summary field, which is awesome to destroy your performance. That's the best way you can do. If you want to destroy the performance of your solution, do exactly what I'm doing. So now you have two fields out of yourself. Everything works. Everything works well. So each time you do this, boom, see, it's, you have, So now what about the max and the mean of this? Well, and you want to know how many things you have here, right? How many? So let's continue. Let's continue to the, you say, oh yeah, Nick, show me how to do good thing with the layouts object. Let's do the counts, okay, of the T12 related records. Let's do this here, right? So this is how many items I have. That works fine. Nick, show us how to do this. So it should be good, right? You have a count. So I have 5 items. 5 items, yeah, cool. I have 7 items. And let's continue, right? So, and all of this is a related summary field. That a related summary field, that is a related, it's a calculation on a related field, right? But let's continue. Let's do what I did, remember what I did? I did this. I did the edit, and I did, the value count on the unique value on the list of the T12A description, right? That works too. That's awesome. Also something Nick show you, right? So it should be good. Let me put that black. Okay. So it should be awesome, right? So 8 record, 5 item. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So everything works. So now you have again and again and again, you have related, calculation on related fields and summary field. Why? Is this change no, this change if I'm adding an item. This will change if I change the price or if I change, right? But it won't change for all of them. See, I can do that. See how slow it is? See? This doesn't change okay, how many times an invoice will change? Or every 2 seconds you change an invoice? Of course not. Okay? So what about something like, because this is there, is pre-fetched, is pre-calculated, is there. I have all my information here. The mean, the max, the number, the total price, it's all my summary, everything there. Stored, ready for you, ready to be picked up. It's like an Amazon parcel on your porch. It's ready, right? So what about we get rid of this madness? We get rid of this madness, okay, that is totally useless now. We don't need that, because I have it here in my blob, right? So here I need to add the trigger, because I know, of course, I will change it. So now that I have my blob, okay, I want, for example, so let's put that here. So I have my blob here. So let's call it. Here's my blob. So let's say I want the number of record. Okay? So layout, calculation, JSON, okay, get elements from my blob, and I want this. Okay? I can make it like, items, records. Okay? I can make it small like this. Put it here. Put it black. Stupid. Boom. Record 4. I have 4 records. Okay? Here, I have 10. Well, this is not calculated. It is already calculated, right? Actually, this needs to be, sorry, it should be a text here. Sorry for that. An auto entry calculation, not a calc. I did a calc to get the data in, and then okay, forget about it. It's an auto entry calculation. So, what happened here? Oh, because it's empty now, right? Oh yeah. So I need to run this. Hold on a second. I want to avoid this, but I want to avoid to run this, but it's okay. Boom, it's back. So now I want the number of items. This is number of records, okay? I want the number of items, okay? So number of items. Oops, I did a mistake. Number of items, okay? So I can edit this items, right? 8 record, 5 items. Okay? So let's continue, right? So I have my blob here. I want the max date, max date and min date, that's what I want together here, on top of date, okay? I want min date, and max date actually, let's put it like this. Min date, max date. Okay? Let's put my total, right? So unit total. Let's go here, total unit price. So total unit price and total, and here total price. Right? So I have all of this information. So, so let's do something different here. From and to. Okay? Wow. So all of this information here, okay, is coming from something that is data. This has been calculated once and doesn't change. You gather all what you need, but instead of gathering everything in fields, right? making fields and fields and field, total this and unit this and number of this and this. Instead of doing this, okay, you do a blob, you do one unique calc that gather all this information at once, and you build your JSON and you have them, okay? And then you call them, right? Of course, this, if, for example, if you need a field for that because you need to enter data, okay? Or but for example, why why you want this, why you want a field for that, for just for counting how many records you have, okay? Just create a blob where you get all your counts, the totals, all the information you might need, right? But you don't really, need a field for that. Just you need to gather the information, right? And to use it later, because you can use that everywhere. You can even use that in scripts. Well, you go there, create your script, right? And you say, show dialogue, total, and you say JSON, get elements from your blob, and you want this. Right? Is there? So you can use that in your scripts, right? You can use that in the script that way, right? Set variable, blob, right? And you call it in a variable. Then it's there, right? So when you run this script, when you run this script here, in the variable, you have your blob, ready to be used, right? And then I don't know, you build your calc, and you say, instead of doing this, get elements, right? Or instead of doing this, right? You say, okay, here from the blob, right? And you get the one you want from the blob instead of, and then you can even do, for example, you can set a variable and say, okay, unit price, like for example, total unit price. You can even extract, if you need to, for example, more advanced calculation in your scripts, right? You can say JSON get elements from the blob, right? And you call this, right? And then instead of doing this in your calc, that can be confusing, you objectify oriented object, remember, and you call this, right? So you extract from the blob, and then you use something objectified, and then you can understand what it is. And you don't have the JSON get element in the middle of the way. But that works, right? So let's go to the question, and if everybody understood the benefit of the blob.
Are we following? Are we not following? Confused? On board? Less on board? David's saying yes. How are we over there, YouTube? Are we following? Questions, concerns, comments? YouTube and Twitch are on delays, so. They're
Yeah.
gonna hear this about a minute after we asked it.
Oh,
But
Johan is in Croatia. Oh, in Trogir. Yeah, I know Trogir in Croatia. I wait for you in Corfu. You're very close. You can come, but you need. Are you, Johan? Johan, are you going to Albania? Because if you go Albania, you can come here. But good luck in Albania. No, it's they liberate the country like like a few years ago. It's a free
hmm
country now, and they try to do the whatever tourism, right? And
hmm
yeah, it's okay.
I don't see any other. I don't see any
Yeah,
other.
David, don't be political, but I agree with you.
About to say that. Yeah, that's pushing lines there. Pavel.
But I
Uh,
agree with you. That's what I can see Albania from my house. I can see it. It's there, right?
uh, Pavel
But
says very good
yes.
idea about the blob or everything you've done so far. So
Okay, so yeah, so you got the point, right? So
yes.
imagine that you want to gather something like super complicated with a calculation, with an evaluation, with some, instead of all the time calling it, right? Because that never changed. That never changed. Like this remind me, people putting an unstored calc in the age of somebody, right? So that doesn't make any sense. You have an unstored calculation that calculates the age of somebody. How many times the age of somebody change? The day and the month of the date of birth. That the only day the age will change, right? So do a calc, do a script that gather the people of the day with the DOB day, and this is how you optimize, right? The code. Question, Peter. With the trigger, is there a way to not scripting the timestamp update?
Yeah. So with the
No,
triggers,
no, no. The trigger is mandatory, but doesn't make any. It's not a big deal. Yeah, because I tell you, um, you don't want the blob to be an unstored calculation like it was, because because in that case you ruin the purpose, right? Because you cannot have a stored calculation with related field in the calc. Doesn't work. If I do this, it says I can't. The calculation cannot be stored or indexed because the reference related field, there's a related fields, right? So I cannot do that. So it needs to be an auto entry calculation, and the auto entry calculation to be triggered, it needs to get, we need to use the trigger. Can you send a trigger webinar, Marge? So
yeah,
you
let
need
me
to
find it.
you need a trigger. But it doesn't mean, look, it's not a big deal because, look, you have here, on record commit here, right? So I can do another on record commit, you know, and do on invoice, right? And set the fields trigger on invoice, right? And you put that here on record commit. So you put that here. So let's say I'm changing the date here, right? And I'm putting like 27 to change this, right? Why didn't change it? Oh, because it's under. Hold on. I don't think it triggered. Yeah, it triggered. Oh yeah, okay. So here the catch. It did, but it couldn't do the change. Okay, hold on. Because yeah, it did. No, it did. It did. Sorry, it did. It did. So I can change this. I was looking to the wrong. I was looking here like an idiot, and I said, why it doesn't change? It changed. You know. So if I put like 1999, boom, it changed. So it changed the blob. Changing the blob, you change this, right? So it's not a big deal. You know what I mean? It's not a big deal. Yeah? See, put 2020. So it's really not a big deal. If you um, have something like this, right? So you put the trigger on the layout and that's it. Or if you do a change, so I show you a technique, right? Do you want me to show you a technique? So let's say you do the change on that record, right? So you do a change here. So we are in the invoice. We are in the invoice. Okay, let's go to the invoice. So I'm in this invoice, okay? And you do a change here, right? But we are in T13, here we are in T12. If I do a change here, right? If I do a change here, it will change this, but it doesn't change this because I didn't trigger, But now I will show you the beauty of the relationship, correct? Okay. I have, if your solution is well built, okay? If your solution is well built, you must, for sure, you have a relationship that goes from this table, right? I hate this keyboard. This table to this. So you have a relationship from T13, to invoice item to invoices, for sure. You have it. If you have a more complex, evolved solution, and you have this, right? If you build, like you have the invoice world and you have the invoice item world, okay? So if you here, okay, so picture this, that also part of the code optimization. I'm going to build another trigger field. Okay. And what this do? From the T13A, I want to change that field. Because here I'm in T13. Here, where I'm doing the change, I put an on record commit from the invoice item. So when now I'm going to do a change here, right? Is going to change item here, and at the same time is going to change the value over there. Boom. It changed it. for that invoice. I was in this invoice, right? I was in the inv 00060. So thanks to I have access from the T13 to T13A, which is invoice. So I have access to that field. So now in that layout, I can have a script, a trigger on commit. If I change this and I commit, boom, boom. I don't even have to say, oh, go to layout, search for the invoice, and no. Directly from here, directly from the related record, which is linked to that main record with the IDF invoices, right? So if I change here, for example, and I put 2029, boom, it changed 2029, right? Correct? Because if I change all of them, I change a related field based on that ID. So now I have on both ways, if I change here, right? I put back here on 5. If I change here, I have the trigger from the T12 that trigger here. Boom. Here, I'm directly on a related, I'm directly here on the record, on the table of that related record. So if I change from here, I have a trigger that is going to set the field of a related record on the trigger field of the related record, which is the record INV00060. And I do this, I trigger the field in that table. What? Rove? You love it? You like it?
Yes, very cool. People are saying very cool. So,
Yeah, you can use the JSON make array stuff, but I never use it, and I don't know how to use it. My way is, yeah, you can make I didn't JSON make array, but you still need the list of values. So I never use it. To be honest, I'm honest with you. So make array. I'm honest with you. I never use it. So I didn't have the time. So let's see what the help says. Let's see if I can, or because they said I'm going straight to the example. JSON row, yeah, I love why this. I love their example. They made an example to make sure that you didn't understand anything. So make array, this JSON. Okay, so let's try this in my calc here. And so instead of the set element here, you can make an array. Make array, but I'm not sure. Make array, I need to be, I don't know. Make array. Okay, so I still need my list of values, right? So this is, yeah, instead of making like this, right? So I can use this instead. No, I need to, yeah, but I still need the, yeah, you need, yeah, no. It's to make an array. No, okay, so that's why, that's why I never use the make an array. Make array is when for example, if here I want to make max date, and I have multiple value for this elements down an array. But here, set element, you need to do that. You need what I've done. You know what I mean? So make array doesn't do anything here. You know what I mean? Doesn't do anything. I still need to build the way I build. So that one I never use the make array because I never do that. I can learn and but you still need to do this, right? So just and make array doesn't help. Oh yeah, I can. Okay, so Lean want me to show the script. It's a very complicated script, extremely difficult to understand. It's this. So when I am on the T12, let's say I'm here, right? I'm here. This is T12, and I want the on commit to set that trigger, which is on the local table. So I'm setting the field like this. When I'm in T13, that's a different story. I'm in T13, and here I'm on record commit, but I don't want, I want the field to be updated, but it's a related field, right? So I'm using this, and I'm in T13. Which relationship I use on T13 to go to the invoice, right? Where I have the field I want to trigger, right? Related by the IDF invoice here and with the ID invoice here. So my script here used the T13A from the T13 to pretty much do this. I'm going to A, and I have the related field, right? And I want to update that field. So if I'm here, right, and I change this back to 2025, this is a related field, right? It's on the other. If I do this, it changed the date. It's like me going here and set the field, but it's a related field with the T13A. So pretty much with the trigger technique, you can be from anywhere, right? And you can trigger all the trigger you want from another context until you have the relationship with the correct connection that you can target the parent record and then trigger. Oh, if you have the record open.
Yeah, suppose the record open, is it record locked? What would happen?
Yeah, you have the record lock. But so let's say it depends. So that's why it depends. I'm not sure. So let's do this. I'm here, right? So let's say I'm here and I change this. Oh yeah, Okay, so I have normally if I get the get record states. Okay, is in 0. So this is open, okay? This is it's open. So let's say I'm here and I change that to 29. And I change this. So yeah, I get this. The record cannot be modified in this window because it's already being modified in a different window. Okay, so now let's do it. Okay, so I couldn't change it because here I change, but I get this. And this here didn't get changed. I need to close this, and now I get it. Right? So it's that's why, yes, you get the lock, but it's not really a lock because it changed this, right? So here, I put back in 29. I open the record. I put on 25 here. I get my error, okay? But as soon as I keep, because as soon as I get out of this, right? Boom, I get it. You understand? So, yeah, it's a lock without a lock because normally you put here set error capture, right? Always, on your script, right? So let's say this is open, right? And you change this, you have no error showing because you have error capture. It didn't change it here, but if you click outside, both, it comes, right? So yes and no. That's why I'm saying yes and no. You know what I mean? You get it, but without the inconvenience because you are dealing with an auto entry calculation. So it's waiting to validate. It is waiting the validation on this. Got it? So now I want to try something. Can I? Right? Because most of the time, I show you this technique here. I show you this technique here, but most of the time I'm not using that technique. I don't. Because it's slow. Because you modify a related record. So since we talk about optimization, right? What the word optimization implies? It implies fast, speed, not waiting, right? That's what we, when you hear optimization, what do you hear? You hear performance. So this, yes, it's the quick and dirty way, but it's not the best. And you have many problems, such this one. So I don't use this when I optimize my code, okay? I'm using the trigger technique, right? But I know you see that coming. I have a pisos. I set the variable, okay? And the variable is the parameters. And I get the parameter, right? So with the parameter, okay, I go to layout, and I'm going to my T12 layout because this is where I want, right? And then, okay, I can even put instead of parameter, this is the invoice ID, okay? So I perform find. All of this will happen on server. So I'm going T12 and I'm perform find on their, T12. And I'm setting the fields in the T12 itself. I'm setting my field. And here, instead of doing this, right, I'm doing like set variable invoice ID. I gather the ID from the get parameter. Oops. Okay. And I perform script on server. This one, I send my invoice ID and I say off. Okay, so now when I perform on commit, I gather this, I send to the, to the server. The server receives the ID of the invoice I want to go. I go to the layout of the invoice, I search for that invoice, and I set the trigger on server, right? So I'm here. So I change this, right? So now I have the same here, but I need to send the invoice ID I am in as a parameter. So I'm sending to the scripts, right, which invoice I am from the parameter. So now, if I'm here and I put that in 25, right, so the server is doing it. If it doesn't do it, that means that's a problem. Okay, it didn't do it. Why? Perform script on server. I'm on server. Invoice ID. Invoice. Go to invoice. Well, set field, invoice trigger. I have no idea why I didn't do it. Oh, yeah, I know. Okay, so it will do it. Now, I'll say, see, I am one off. Because now I have another problem doing this. It's an on-record commit, right? This happens before this record even has been committed. So, for example, if I put 25 here, it will put 29 because it will put the previous data. Boom. So I need to say this script here happened on commit. The script here, I need to say, okay, pause like 1 second, right? And look, if I do this now, I put 30, boom. If I put 28, boom. Okay, why? Here what happened. I changed something here. I did editing. Then on trigger, on record commit happens. But this here on record commit happen, all of this will happen before the data here has been validated. Before, okay? You understand? So the server doesn't receive 29. It receives the data I had before I changed to 29. So what I'm saying is this. Okay, do the change. Okay, do the change. Tell the server to validate the change. The script on server says, okay, I wait until the validation of the record occurs, and then it says, okay, let's go, let's go. Let's continue. Okay? But this technique here, the advantage is you do everything on server. So that means you liberate yourself, You do this, boom, it's done, you can continue to work, right? You don't have the spinning wheel. And advantage, if the record is open, if the thing is open, you have no problem. Even open, right? You have absolutely no problem here. When you validate, boom, you get it. So you have all the benefits. You understand? Even if the record open, you have no whatever, because that's also drain the performance, all those errors, and because here, for example, I can do this yes, the record is open. You click here, you validate this, it changed it. Even the record open, right? Again, I changed the record open, right? So I change it, right? I put 33, it changed it. No, because the record has changed. So the record is edited. So yeah, there's two types. But if I click outside, I get the data. So I don't care. I get the if you just open it, if it's just open but not changed, it's open but not changed, then you can change immediately. It get immediately changed, even though the record is open. Now, if the record is open and changed, but not committed, if you change it, right? You click outside, it doesn't change because it needs the validation. But if you go, boom, it's there, right? Got it? So yes, there's no real harm using the trigger. Actually, it's a perfect usage of FileMaker. Combined with this also, because all of this based on this record here, these fields. So Peter, I think I answered your question. So the blob, look, the blob, the trigger, and you make a change like exactly where it's supposed to be, it's like you go straight to the point where you don't do the carpet bombing, so you don't need all those to be calculated over and over and over and over and over and over, right? So long story short, to bring everything here about those 2 days, okay? When you have a logic, but that's what I'm using, Lean. I'm using set elements. I'm using set element here. Where? Oh, you said this, right? This is what you want to do?
Yes, why not use the JSON set element to set the blob? Yeah.
Yeah, because it's because you need to do like this, 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 like this. It's a lot of JSON elements. I mean, this is good when you have one stuff, but when you have many, this better than this, my opinion, right? You can use this if you want, but yeah, you can use this. You put the JSON, you need to put this stuff here, and here you put the name, and then the value and the type. Yeah, you can do that. You can do that. But yeah, you can use this if you want. Yeah, it's just an habit I have. Actually, you're right. It would have been better to use this and to put the value here, and the type is 1. And let's see if this works. Let me see. Before we do a change like this, let me see if it's the same thing, because yeah, it's doing the same. But yes and no, because the problem here, you got a problem here. So no, it doesn't work, because you set an element, but I don't look how you set, even though I'm doing this, and and this. So I have two. And this is not a JSON. It's not a JSON stuff, right? So I have this here, and I don't know how to remove this. And I never knew how to remove that crap here, to be honest with you. Even if you put nothing, you still have this. It's look, it's now I remember why. It's because it doesn't work well for multiple. I don't have only one. You understand? I have this and this, but I have multiple between. I don't have only one, like the set element. It's a JSON set element, not JSON set elements, right? Or I don't know how to use it. I mean, you know, yeah, I got it. So to resume the thing, when to optimize your code, when you need to have an answer like yes, no, like conditional formatting, hidden states, like condition, like if, like here, if contain ID, I want this. Otherwise, I want this. Or if the quantity more than 5, you put the logic in a calc, right? That returns a Boolean answer. Yes, no. Yes, no, yes, no. Yeah, contain item D. Quantity more than 5. The dates, the due date is past the current date. Stuff like this. You are tag. You put your logic in a yes no question, and then you question. You look for the question. You look for the answer of the question. That's the first optimization. That's a great optimization. Then when you have a lot of related data that you need to have to gather at one point, but you don't really need to have a field. Do we need a field for the number of items? Do you need a field for the max date, the min date? Most of the time, no. We don't really need a field. So you have a field, you call it a blob, and then you gather together all your information, right? So pretty much what you want to avoid, and I closed the file. Unfortunately, I need that file, but okay. What you want to avoid is to have a bunch of fields that you don't really need to edit, right? But you need information, you need data, but you don't really need to have a field for this. Having a field in a table is a big event for FileMaker. It's not small. It is not. It's a big event. A field is not like, oh yeah, let's build field. No, more field you have, and less and heavier will be your solution, and you will have a big problem in performance. Yeah, you have to use just an element 1, element 2. Yeah, but what the data of element 1 and element 2? Yeah, so, but my system is better. I'm doing like this. Yeah. So instead of doing your, instead of doing, yeah, but the point here, yeah, so you need to do this. So instead of doing this, but you need the element 1 anyway. Yeah, it's okay. It's fine. I understand now. It's okay. Yeah, it's okay. Well, you can use that if you want. The JSON, they said you can use this if you want. Yeah, you're right. You're right. I mean, I might do that in the future. Okay. Can I do it? Can I show you why I'm not doing this? Okay.
Yes.
Most of the time, I don't do this as a data like this. I don't. I'm using records. So let me show you. It's a good example, right? So I don't use those type of calcs. Those are, I will never have done this calc. I will never have done this calc. This, never. Never. It's a night. This is a pure madness. Okay? No. What I will have done, I will have like this. I will have done a record. I will have records with the title and the data, right? I mean, title and the data I want, which is the ID. So I have this. I have a calc that builds the string for me. I build the string. I build the string, which will be part of the JSON. Okay. Then I go there. So let me. I don't want to have too much. So let's do this, for example. Yeah, okay. So this is what I do. Instead of having this, imagine that, because the problem is what you show me here, that's okay when you know you have element 1, element 2, element 3. Yeah, but maybe I will have 38 elements. Maybe I will have less. Maybe I will have more. How you do this set element, set element, set element? I don't know how many elements I will have. I have no idea. It's, I don't know, can be more, can be like this, right? Or more, depending on the user, depending on many things. So I want that to be programmatic. With your hard code calculation, you can do that with the set element, set element, set element, set element. It's hard coded. Look this. I have the string, but I have also the list of string. Got it? So now let's use my technique instead of your technique, and then you want, because it's good. I mean, I'm happy. I'm very happy that you got that. You got, because instead of having this, okay, instead of having all this crap, so I do this. So instead of doing this, I do this, right? So let's do this. I'm going to that field. That's, I'm here. So, of course, I need to do a let. Okay. And this is this. The JSON strings is this. So I have this just to see if it's working. Okay. And now I have this. Okay. So, and now if I do JSON format elements. Oh yeah, something is missing. Hold on. Something is missing. Something I have in the script here. List. Oh yeah. This is not I need to do. Okay. Okay, so now my JSON, right? So first, you imagine that here your cal will have been set element 1, element 2, element 3, element 4, element 5, and 6. Okay. Do you see anything like this here? Do you see a crazy calc, 200,000 lines? No. So now picture this. I want 69 in my JSON, right? Well, it's there. So what do you want to do? What do you want to do, Lynn? What do you want to do? 69 times set elements? and you put manually, and you want to write that manually? No, I just ask, you want to do that manually with set element? That's why I never use set element, because set element doesn't work. It's for 2 or 3, where when you know how many elements you will have, when something very monolithic. But if you want something like I just do, let's say you want only this, boom, right? Or you have only one, so no. Let's say another one. You want this, boom. Okay, here you go. I have my JSON with your set elements. How I know I have 1, 2. So you got the point here? I want my stuff to be unpredictable. And with my system here, I'm sorry, but it's fast, super fast, right? And I can build. So yes, if I have to do, in my opinion, do we have time, Marge? Do we have time?
Sure.
Marge?
Yes.
Okay. You want me to show you the Nick Hunter super advanced, super guru, completely insane developer? That's what you want to see?
Sure. Yes.
Well, no, you want or no?
Yes.
Okay. So I will never ever think building an abomination like this. I did it to make it short and not overwhelm you, right? But since you push me, right? Since you push me over the place here, I'm going to do and exactly what I would have done. So first, I need to get this in a text field, in a text stuff. So this is my technique here. So I'm showing. So I'm off script completely. Let's say you are a customer, right? And I'm working for you. Okay. So, and trust me, you will never see anything like this anywhere than here. Okay. It will take some time, Marge, but let's do an extra hour. Okay. So I don't care. I'm here. I'm doing it. So this is an abomination. Doesn't work. It doesn't work. Okay. So I create a table. Okay. JSON elements. Okay. Create my table. Right. And here, I delete all this crap and I build title and logic. Logic. Okay. So I have and I have the JSON string. Okay. To make it short, I don't want to make it too long. I'm going here and I'm going to copy the JSON calculation here and I'm going to put here, right? And why I put JSON-E? Oh yeah, JSON-E, yeah. Okay, so the string, right, is the title and with the logic. No, and the with the logic and the result of the logic. No, I don't really need that. Yeah. It's a prototype, right? I'm not saying that this is the final stuff because I need more preparation to make it working, but we don't have 10 hours. So I want the quotes, and I want to evaluate the logic. Okay. And of course, I need to make it working. So I need to prepare everything. So if I had something like this, I will have called this T100 and JSON elements. Okay. And of course, I would have do something like this. And in the JSON, I need the IDF from and the field here. I can't really explain everything, but IDF from invoice. And yeah, IDF from invoice. Okay. Yes, but not from item though. JSON elements. Okay, elements to invoice. Yeah, JSON element to invoice item. Yeah, perfect. I changed the name. So T100A invoice. Yeah. I have a weird carriage return on this US keyboard I bought here in Europe. And I have a very weird carriage return. And each time I do a delete, so it yeah. So I'm good. Okay. So now I have all what I need to prepare my calc. Okay. So if I go there, I need here, I need a T100 JSON element. I can put a form. Okay. Let's remove this insanely awful Apex crap. So I have my title, the from, the JSON string. I have the logic here, the result of the logic, and the string here. Okay. 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 So the ID from, by the way, it's a global. Okay. So, and the name is not good. It needs to be link from. Stupid. A link. This return is each time I click on, I type under carriage, it's okay. I don't care, Okay, so the title will be number of record. Okay, and the logic will be this. Okay, so the string here is not good, right? The string is not good here. Okay, but it's okay. I don't care. So because I'm not sure if I want to do that. So let's do all of them, right? Title, value, new, and price. Okay. record. Total price. Mean date. Mean. Okay, and max date. Okay. Okay, so now my thing here, right, is not T12A, is T100A. Okay. T100A. Okay. T100A. So this will be what I want here, right? It's this one, the T100A. Okay. So I copied this T100 until here, right? And I want to replace, right? So this T100A, so I paste this here, right? The T100A, I paste here. And then I say, I want to replace this. I want to replace this. It's so small. I want to replace this, right? Find replace, right? All record current fields. Find this and replace with this. Okay? Replace all. Okay, close. So if I said on all records, oh yeah, all, replace all. Oh, I need to do it again. So on this, because I need to be on top, on the first, right? So I'm going to replace this. So replace, right? I'll replace this with this. Or blah, 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 replace. Okay. So it changed 6. Boom. So I changed from the T12A to the T100A on all records, right? This is what I want to do. Okay. So I replace all those. See how I did it? All of this goodness, because I have the replace, the fun replace, which you don't have if you are inside of freaking calculation first, you know. So you need to do manually copy paste, copy paste, copy paste, copy paste. Here I don't need that, you know. So now that I have this, right? Now that I have this, okay. So let's say, now I have a, okay, I have a, but let's say I don't want to do that because the problem is yeah, it's a prototype, so I really need to you know, I really need to dial down a little bit, but you know, trigger last modification. I need to dial down, otherwise we will be there for a long time. Okay, so I have a trigger and I need the string to be, or of course, I need this to be triggered, not this one. Yeah, the string. Yeah, the string. I need this to be recalculated, but no, I need the logic to be, no, the results. I need the results to be let's trigger equal trigger, and I want to evaluate the logic. Okay. Okay. So let's put the trigger here. So why? Let me try something here. So I'm trying this. Yeah, it works. So why this not working? Results, trigger, evaluate logic. Well, oh, because it's not like this, maybe. Yeah, see. So I need to evaluate the logic with this. Because if I do this, it can evaluate this because it's not a text. So the result is evaluate I don't know if this works. Not sure. Otherwise, I put a quote and that's it. Yeah, I need to quote it. So, okay, so other thing I'm going to show you, because it need to be a quote, it need to be a text, okay? So I need to automatically quote everything I'm putting here. So I said quotes self. So doing this, okay, you pretty much quote everything you put here, right? So here, if I copy and paste this, boom, it's quoted automatically, right? So now, right, I can omit this and I can replace this, the logic by itself and do this and boom, I quote everything. So now everything works. Oh yeah, but why, why, why it doesn't work? I don't understand that. Okay, hold on. So I don't need that. Why it doesn't work? 107 ID from invoice. That I don't get it. But the logic is here, and let's say evaluate the logic though. Okay, so see, sometime, you know, I need to evaluate the logic. Here it works. When I do it here, it doesn't. Okay. Auto entry, evaluate logic. Oh, okay. So I don't need, I was on the wrong, um, you know, yeah. So I don't need, so let me remove the quotes, you know. So substitutes in self search for quotes, you know, and replace by nothing. Oh yeah, I need. Oh yeah, self doesn't work on. So I need to replace on logic everything that quoted. Okay. So it replaced, and I replace here. Okay, show all, and I replace this, and boom. So now I got all the thing, right? Why this is, so now I have this, but the string doesn't work. Okay. Oh, yeah. I have the result now. Okay. Okay. So now I got, so I'm using all my technique, the evaluation, right? So now it's outside. Okay. So I have all of this, all my JSON stuff are outside. Okay. So instead of having a freaking calc, let's say I'm using a lot of this in the solution. I have a table where I'm putting all my logic and all my stuff, um, stuff like this, right? All my calcs, and I'm coding them when I need, right? So now I'm doing like a list of JSON, right? String, summary, it's a list of JSON string. So I'm building a list of this, a list of my strings, right? The aggregated, yeah, but it doesn't work, Lynn. I mean, yeah, I understand. You want to set, okay, see, because Lynn said, yeah, but you can, but you can't predict. Yeah, it's hard coded, it's great, it's hard coded, that's great. But if I have 10 elements or 2 elements or 30 elements, how you know? How you know what I will do, what I will get? You hard coded everything. It's hard coded. Element 1, element 2, element 3. But maybe I will have 10. Maybe I will have 2. So maybe you didn't understand the reason why the hard coded JSON set element doesn't work for that for many of things like this. What relationship? There's no relationship on what you show me here. The relationship is what aggregates. Doesn't matter how many related records there are, but you need to do one by one. The element 1 or element 2. Okay, I don't get it. Sorry. Okay, so now that I have this, okay, so from anywhere in the system, right? I can build my stuff, right? Using this technique here. The set element, I don't know. You need to build a file and send it to me, but so if I'm here, I do this, I remove with this list of strings, and boom, right? I have my JSON as I want, and I don't have a bunch of set field. Is Nick.Hunter Nick.Hunter at rcconsulting.com. Okay, so use set element because you need to hard code the set elements. You need to do the set element, and the set it doesn't do the aggregation automatically. I never saw that. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. It's because this here is hard coded. It doesn't come. How you know the max of total price is what you want? How you know aggregate of unit price? But I don't. This is not what I want. You didn't get it. You didn't get it at all. That's why. That's why we don't talk about. We talk about 2 different things here. I don't want all the unit price for all the related record. I want for that record the unit price for that rate. I want the max date, I don't want unit price and all the unit price and the max date and all the max date. I want max date for that record, mean date for that record, number of items for that record. I don't want what you want to do. You want total price for all the related record. I don't want. So that's why we talk about two things different, right? So anyway, so here I have records, right? And here this is how it works. Okay, I got that. That's why you don't. Sorry, Lynn, but you didn't get the point. So this is all what I want in my, because if you want to do what I want to do with a set element, you need to do it one by one, one by one. That the point, that the point. Create an array. I don't want an array. It's not, it's not, I'm not, yeah, you lost. I could use this plus sign example, create a new array, add. But an array, okay. Yeah, it's okay. I think I went too far, but I don't want an array. So yeah, I failed in my mission to get you guys understand.
Well, we can rehash this at another date.
Yeah, but Lean, that's what I want to avoid. I said it's a double. It's okay. I can't. It's okay. Everybody lost because I understand it's completely off chart and off territory. I understand. Don't worry. That's what I've said. Lynn. Yeah, I use aggregates and I don't want to aggregate. Instead of doing that. Okay, I'll try last time and then we go to bed. Okay. Instead of getting this insane calculation, because this is insane, instead of doing this, right? Instead of doing this, I'm putting the logic in records. I'm in records here, okay? I understand. I try, I thought you got it, but it's I understand. It's okay. So instead of using not the list view, the table view. Okay. Instead of using an aggregation, I'm using records. I'm using records. I put whatever I want in records, right? Got it? I put the calc here in the fields, right? And then instead of because now it is programmatically, I can change it. I can add one new, I can add one new. I can say, item D. I can add this, again, item D. I can add a new one. Okay. Add a new one. And then I put the logic behind the item D, which I have here, is this, I can even put all of this. That's why, it's okay. I understand if you don't get it. I understand. I use the aggregation and if I put the logic here, I don't need this, I just need this. I can even put this and this here is the same as this one, the T here, though I'm changing this. Okay. It's okay. Don't worry. I understand. So I put this, right? So now I have I can calculate this. This is the item D logic, description to pattern count is description item D. Why doesn't work here? Doesn't want to work. list. Oh, yeah, description. Okay, hold on. Sometimes instead of I'm doing this on the set description. So this is the field I need to go. And it's okay, but no, because this should do it. The result doesn't come. Okay. Oh yeah, you're right. This is missing here. Boom. Thank you. Label, thank you for the rescue. Okay, so now I add it. Well, guess what? I have it too in my JSON, and I didn't add a new set freaking elements. I don't, that one said, I don't do an array. Array will be number of record and all the 8 records. An array will be number of items and all the 5 items. The total unit price will be all the total. I don't want that. An array is not what I want, right? And I don't want to aggregate. I do the aggregate in my list of items. Here, I do a list of all of this is one record, one record, one record, one record, one record. And then I do my magic here. I substitute carriage return with a comma, which is what JSON wants. And then when I do the format element, but kaboom, I have my JSON element with the item D. No, an array is not an object. It's a list, right? So that's why you know what I mean. I can do whatever I want. I'm adding without to go to the calc, because in my way to use this, I don't want hard code stuff. Yes, but that is the ninja, super crazy, insane, full of OCD guy like me, right? You know what I mean? But if you are not completely insane, right, like me, well, you can use the hard-coded stuff. Sometimes I'm using the hard code because, okay, I know I have 4 known, I have 4 known, what's the name? But I tell you something. Unfortunately, I can do 3 hours of webinar today, right? But especially that we are 5 of us.
Yes.
But the problem is, you could in this table here, I don't know in this table here, you can add in this one, you can add, I said yes, all your calc, not just for one blob, but you can have many blobs, and then you code them with an with an ID blob like this, like you create a new ID blob, okay, a blob ID, right? You create a blob ID, and the blob ID. So, for example, let's say this one here is a blob ID 1, okay? Right? And let's say this and this and this is a blob ID 2, okay? Let's say because I have blobs on many tables and stuff like this. So For example, you can say from invoice, for example, right? Let's say you put a blob ID, let's say here for invoice, and after that we go. Promise. So for invoice, you want the blob ID for invoice, and invoice item, you have another blob ID. Okay, let's say, and they're all globals. Okay. Okay. So in invoice, I shouldn't have done all this crap in this file because this file is the sort stuff, but it's okay. Here, that the blob, okay. And here, that the blob as well. I hate this. Oof. Okay, so let's say you have multiple tables and you call multiple blobs. Okay, blob ID, and blob ID, blob ID. Okay. So let's say, okay. So if I go there in invoice, invoice is using the blob ID 1, okay? And invoice item, yeah, but in context. Invoice item is using the blob ID 2. Okay? So when I am in invoice and I want to read my, so let's duplicate this. Okay. If I'm in invoice and I want to read the blobs, right? So this is a blob. This is a blob for invoice table. Okay, correct? This is a blob for invoice table. But now, what happens if I go to the invoice item table, right? Oh, I need another one. If I go to the invoice item, invoice here, blob, this was the free for the invoice item blob, and here that was the blob for invoice table. So you can have one table with all the blobs, all the item, all the thing that feeds the JSON, but you select them per table using a field as a relationship, right? If you're going to use in every table, better a table to aggregate data. Yeah, David A. John, you got it. Yeah, you can do many changes, Lynn. It's okay, like I said, it's a prototype. Yeah, you will get the file. You will, do whatever you want. I understand. I had a few. I don't have 10 hours like you will have to fix this. You will see it's not that easy. But so you understand the advantage here. You have your what's the name? Your table with all your stuff here, right? And then you call them as you want. The disadvantage of this hard-coded blob stuff here is, well, this is bad. I'm not saying this is good. I mean, it's not as bad, but what I've done here for you to show is that I have calculified something that I was doing using records, right? But play with it. You will play with it. All of this is prototype. Okay, it's not because there's many problems here that I need to address. First of all, for the evaluation of this, right? So this is not done yet. I need to evaluate for each record. Okay, it need to be evaluated for each record, right? So I need to evaluate this each time I change this. You need to evaluate. So I would have what I've done here. I have put the logic. Where's my layout here? Where's my layouts? Allotted? What? Am I? Not here. Okay. So what I've done here to make it simpler, I put the results here, but it shouldn't have been here. It shouldn't have been on the record over there. But Lynn, you want it, you want to fix it, No, I'm not paying. I'm not paid overtime today. It's okay. I mean, I should maybe. I should ask. Okay, Marge, I think we're good. But anyway, I do everything I do. I bring, in every single calc, this is my technique. Okay, you do it in every single calc. If I need to build something like this, if I need to build something like this, I do a table. I use a table because the table for that the table is super good. I use a table, or right, I use a custom function, because the custom function, you get something like this, right? But at the end, I get here. I'm using the set element, right? See, I'm not saying I'm not using it, but here it makes sense. For the other one, doesn't, because here I am in a while function, so I'm not outside of. You understand? So you could use what you could do if you really, 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 really in love with set element. You, instead of using, you can still use the records, and you use a while to read the records, right? Instead of using my list of technique, it will be a little bit slower, because set element, boom, boom, boom. This is the big event, right? Here, I use it here because I know I have 2, 3, 4, maybe 5, not more, right? I know because I have the control, right? So that's why I'm using set element. But when you have hundreds, maybe 200, or maybe 300, well, set elements repeated like this is not a good idea. It's better to use list of substitutes, and you format at the end, right? Much faster. We talk about performance here, right? Well, that was interesting today.
It was. Thank you, Nick.
Thank you, David. Lynn, no offense. I mean, I understand. I mean, I like the challenge, and but you understand that this was a prototype. I know there's many things we can, you know, I just want you to understand the concept of getting everything outside, like the calc. You know, you have the calc outside, you have the title outside, you build, and then you pretty much recalc everything, right? So that's the goal, right? So, it's
No,
yeah, of course. I mean, no, it's I totally understand that I'm off chart completely. I am the Antarctica, and and I'm showing you the wall of the end of the world, and you can't believe it. And I understand that, right? So but this is what I'm doing, right? And I'm showing you all because this are stuff I'm using every time, all the day, all the time, every day. Is not pure fantasy and pure uh wasn't it experimentation. It's not pure theory. It's practical. I'm using that, right? So what Jack. So I think we can dock the enterprise, and I'm going to have a word, even if it's what time is it? It's 2 a.m. here.
yes, no. So we're gonna let everyone go. Thank you, Nick. Thank you all for coming. Uh, Sleep
Yeah.
well, and I will see
Bye.
you
It was
next week.
okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Bye.
Have a good one.